Okay, I'm live. So right now I'm going to talk about because last time that I had a session about gang stalking, it got a little personal. Excuse me. So this time I'm going to talk about which I don't plan on to get that personal ever again. But this time I'm going to talk about noise harassment. And I'm going to tell you some of the things that they do to me in this neighborhood because this neighborhood is where I've pretty much been gang stalked. So I'm going to try to go off the top of my head if I can remember as much as I can remember. But since some things are so significant, I'm pretty sure I can remember. One of the things that they do is, well, there was a time when I was going to sleep at different times of the day, and what they would do is it was like as soon as I would go to sleep, there's like a train over here. I don't know where it's at. I've never seen it before, but you can hear it. And as soon as I go to sleep or get ready to lay down, it'll be like do like the train will start making noises. And I noticed like every time I would go to sleep or get ready to go to sleep, the train would it was like it was making an announcement to the whole neighborhood or to whoever that I was going to sleep, that I was laying down and going to sleep. So I'm like, why is it that every time I get ready to go to sleep, the train is like making this noise? So also sometimes it would make that noise when I would like wake up, like, but it really did it most of the time when I was getting ready to go to sleep. And another thing that they do is like if I'm getting ready to leave or go somewhere, which I haven't went anywhere for a second, but say like I'll take a shower and then I'll get my keys in my purse and everything, and then a lot of times it'll be like an ambulance sound or like the police sirens ring 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 or whatever like that. And that's another way that I feel like that they're giving like people an announcement that I'm leaving, or like it feels like they're alerting somebody or people in the neighborhood, because how else can you alert people of something without like calling everybody or telling everybody all the time? I don't know, but it feels like they're giving like calls to people through noises. And I would notice like when I would go driving out of the neighborhood after that and get on like a major highway, it would seem like it would seem like they called like a military of people. Now I don't know personally if would happen to anybody, but I just noticed like in the beginning it was like it seemed like regular traffic, like people going by. But as time passed by and I kept hearing those noises, like them giving an announcement, it would seem like it was a military of cars, like literally coming after me. Like when I would look in my rearview mirror, it would just look like cars. It would look like just an enormous amount of cars, and it looked like they were like literally just coming after me for some reason, because they was like driving faster than normal, and it was like so many of them spread out, horizontally, and so many of them going back, vertically, and it was just like and it looks really scary. Like you don't expect to see that every time you leave and get on the road. And like it's not always 5 o'clock. It could be like 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and it'll just seem like they have a military of cars that was just like on duty to like come after me. That's how it at least feels, and that's how it looks. Okay, and then the other noise harassment is they have this young dude over here that I believe has broken into this house before, he opened the back door, and like while I was sleeping one time, his car is just like boom, those like muscle cars. He doesn't have a muscle car. He has like a little basic car, but it makes that thing, I guess, when they take the muffler off or whatever. So every time I would get ready to leave, also sometimes, like when I'm getting dressed and getting ready to go, he would like vroom, like always leave before me. So I know that he's leaving before me because I can hear that car. And I'm like, why is he always leaving before me, right before I'm leaving? Like, I don't see him anywhere, but I notice he's always leaving before I leave. I can hear him. I don't see him when I'm out driving or anything, but I notice that. And also, there's a lot of times when he would come back around the same time that I would be back. Also, the neighbors across the street, the exact same thing. The people who live there now and the people who lived there before. And the one dude that lives there now, the way that he does noise harassment is he has a truck, and he's like, it's like one of those beep, beep, beep alarms. And he does it multiple amount of times. Like it's like, okay, you lock your car with the alarm. It's like doot doot, and you're done. He's like beep, 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 and like he keeps doing it. Chirp, 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 chirp. Like it seems like his alarm is broke, but it's not. He just chirp, chirp. He'll do it all the time. When I get ready to go to sleep, chirp, chirp. He used to do it until I went outside one day and I yelled at him really loud. So he's doing the noise harassment with his car alarm, with his little chirper. He'll do that. Like if I get on the computer, sometimes he'll do it. Chirp, chirp. Like he's trying to program those little chirps in my head when I get ready to go to sleep. Chirp, chirp. Okay. And every time they deliver food over here, he's always outside in his truck with his lights on. Like I have footage on my phone. I just don't show it because then I would kind of be telling y'all where I live as well. But so they do the train noise when I get ready to go to sleep. They do the train noise sometimes when I wake up, but they always were doing the train noise when I was going to sleep. But like I started yelling about it and complaining about it, and the dude does the verm verm muffler noise when I get ready to leave. He does that. The ambulance and the police car sounds when I get ready to leave as well. And then the dude with the chirp chirp, hello, the dude with the chirp chirp, he's always doing that like throughout the day. A lot of times when I was getting ready to go to sleep and like just during different times. Yeah, they don't do it to wake me up. They do it like when I'm leaving, when they think that I'm leaving the house, but then they do it. And also like if you're talking about something, I noticed that in a lot of YouTube videos also like when people are talking about something really deep and they get into like awakening type of conversation, like they'll play the sirens or alarms in the background too. You can hear it and you can notice that it's kind of a pattern. Oh god, stalker scanners. Like I'm still trying to figure out how do you have a stalker scanner though? Like what is that? Like what does it do? Like what does it tell people? I don't know, but I guess it I don't know, kind of like if you don't pay your insurance, they know that it's you. But yeah, so it's really that stalking noise is super frustrating. I mean, just imagine every time you go to sleep, a train makes a noise. Every time you feel like that's crazy. It's like it's super invasive. It just makes you feel like they're why would they do that? So it's like conditioning you. It's literally conditioning you. Every time you go to sleep, now you feel like this anxiety because you hear that noise. You can't just go to sleep and relax and have a good night. It's like you always have to feel that anxiety before you sleep. Like that's not fair. It's like they never want you to relax. They never want you to be centered or at peace. They always do these like triggering noises and things to make sure that you have a taste of anxiety. It's crazy. And I thought about what you said, is that about the or somebody sent me a comment about the human trafficking, and I'm like, you know what? I don't understand what the human trafficking has to do with it, but now I'm starting to feel like, yeah, I think it has a lot to do with it, a whole lot to do with it. And I'm starting I believe that a lot of those stalkers are pervs. They're like paid pervs. Like they pay to watch you. They've committed crimes or whatever, and the people who are in on it know that these people are. This is just one of my things that I'm thinking in my head now because at this house there's like a the shower, there's a window, but you can't really see me. But I noticed when I would take a shower, you can't see me. But people would try to use their high beams and like try to look in. And I called the security and I told him these people are in the cul-de-sac with their high beams on. It's like they're trying to look at me through the window, even though they can't see me. It's the fact that they're trying to. And I would like act like I was going to take a shower, and then I would go into the cul-de-sac and see who it was in my car. And it was always some strange dudes, and it just looked weird. Like, who would be telling them that I'm there and that I live here and that that's a window to that? Like, there's no way. So I put a thing on the window so they can't do that. But yeah, I definitely think that that has something to do with it, and that these people are like paid to. It's really weird and far fetched, but I'm starting to think that, and I'll probably do a video on that. But I don't know. They are Satanists. Hmm. That's really deep. That's really deep. Like if all this is really true about them, like the sex trafficking and the Satanists mixed with it, like that's so creepy. And then people are saying like, you know, somebody I know people are being encouraging and I really love it. And it's just like as long as they're not doing anything to you physical, but I'm like, if they do something to you mentally and they're trying that hard, what makes you think that they wouldn't try to do something to you physically? So yeah, but that's true. You're so right. They are Satanists because they are enjoying, it almost seems like they are enjoying you not being relaxed and they're enjoying seeing you being miserable. You're so right. Like, it's just crazy. Well, I just wanted to talk about those forms of noise harassment that they do. And adding to that, what I just talked about the different forms of noise harassment. Probably so. Like, even out there in the world, it's like, it's just got to be in those bad environments. And like, it's almost like a group of them. They all know something, or they all, I don't know. It's just so weird. It's really weird. And a thing about it is a lot of these people who come out of the foster care system, you know, they have a harder time, getting their life on track when you're 18 and you have to leave out of the foster care system. What are they expecting you to do? To be able to be 18 years old and have a job and to have a place to stay. And then they tell you when you're in high school to just focus on your grades. Don't worry about having a boyfriend or anything like that. So what are you gonna do? Yeah, they try to sensitize you to normal everyday noises. Right. And also on the, like, I can hear them right now on the major highway or freeway. They it's like, okay, if I have like some type of episode or I'm doing something different that day, it sounds like they'll all be like driving vroom, like really loud, like in a group, in a team, like just all at once. And it's weird how like patterned they are and how on point they are. It's almost like they're literally waiting, like a airplane or a helicopter hovering over you, and then all of a sudden it's just there. And most of them, I'm gonna enjoy this thing. Thank you. And those two, most of them are like cars, though. Most of them are cars. But I will tell you about this one gang stalking situation that happened with trucks. Me and my best friend, the one who I've had, like the only best friend I talk about, one day when we were riding toward his house, there was big trucks. They were everywhere. The front to the back, the whole highway was, and it was like we were one of the only cars in like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of big trucks. Like, where did they all come from at one time? I'm like, are you serious? Like, we were literally trapped. We couldn't see in the front, we couldn't see in the back. It was none trucks. I was like, why are all these trucks here like that? Like, let me get off and get on the feeder. This is crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure I recorded it somewhere on the phone that fell in the water, but I don't know. It was crazy. I've never seen. Can you tell me why there was 100 something plus trucks? Like, as far as you can look down the street or the highway, that's how many big trucks there were. And as far as you can look behind you, that's how many there were. And I couldn't spot out a regular car or a regular truck like that me and my friend were in. I'm like, are these people trying to kill us? Are they trying to squish us in here? Because they can probably get away with it with all these, like, we're literally surrounded. Where did all these trucks come from all at once? It's all a sensitization to normal everyday stuff. Yeah, it has to do with something with psychology and um, trying to retrain. I guess that's what they call it, reprogram you into, when you hear certain sounds. I guess you're supposed to just be frustrated. Yeah, they're trying to kill us, but they can't. Yeah, let's try to hope that if that's the best way to think. But just know that there are those haters out there. If you ever get sick and you have to go to the hospital, these people do some crazy things. Like, I was gonna make a video on it, but they stopped me from being able to talk to my friend when he was sick. Like, I'm with him all the time. I went to his house. I was looking for him, and I was calling him. his bill wasn't due, and I couldn't get his messages. And the 12th and the 13th, all of a sudden, when the bad thing happened to my friend, I don't like to say it because I don't want to start crying. Um, After that day, the messages popped up. Like something happened to him on the 3rd of the next month, and the messages that he gave me from the month before on the 12th and 13th popped up all of a sudden when I needed those messages to be able to get to him. So it's like whenever you're sick or something's happening to you, they can get so deep into it to where they do stuff to your phone to where you can't. Like yesterday, I was talking to myself about it, and it was like, okay, say you have a kid and your kid gets kidnapped, and your kid is like, you gave them a phone, and say that the kidnapper only restrained their feet when they restrained them, so they had time to get the phone and call you because the predator left the house for a second. So the kid is digging for their phone and they get their phone, but now these other perpetrators are stopping you from getting the message or the phone call that your kid is sending to you. So the phone is ringing in their ear, but it's not ringing on your side. They're texting you and they left a text message, but you're not getting the text message. And they don't give you the text message that your kid sent you until after something happens to you, after something happens to them. Okay. Something happened to them on the 17th, and then the message they sent to you on the 13th pops up all of a sudden on the 18th. That type of stuff. Yeah, that's how deep it gets. That's the scary that I've been through, and that's why one of the reasons why I've been so traumatized, and I can't talk about everything because it makes me sad. I'm still sad to this day. And what happened to my friend, it was a year ago and it still feels like it was only like 5 months ago. So that's just one of the traumatic things that I went through. And me and him noticed, weird things happening with the phone, but we thought that it was something that we can get over. It was something that, we would just deal with. But then this horrible thing happened and it was everything. And that's where I learned about the NSO. The NSO are people who can get on your phone systems, hack your phones, and do all type of weird stuff to him. They were putting his phone on airplane mode and stuff like that. Like he never messed with his phone in any type of way because he didn't want to mess it up. But he'd be like, babe, the phone's not working. I don't know what's going on. I'm not able to use my internet or anything. I'm like, okay, we'll go up there and see what's wrong. And they're like, oh, it's on airplane mode. Like, well, I know he didn't put it on airplane mode. So how did it get on airplane mode? You just put it on airplane mode. If people don't mess with their phone like that, they don't know. Then also, like, my phone number was popping up under somebody else's information. He's called me plenty of times, but toward the end, he would call me and it would ring to somebody else. He told me, hey, for some reason, I'm trying to call you, but the phone call went to this person. So my number ended up being saved under, it ended up being saved under his sister's number for some reason, but he didn't do that. And I know he didn't do that. So how did it end up getting like that? So it was just like it's just really weird stuff, and I'm not the first person. I've heard another YouTuber say that. I am. I'm gonna stay balanced and positive, but if they start taking my friends out, then I mean it's really hard to stay balanced and positive. I'm not like I would never do anything to a person. So when that happens, Those people should be in jail. And it's like they commit these crimes that are so secretive, and that you have to get an investigator and all this wild, crazy stuff. You know, iPhones aren't made that secure anymore. So yeah, it's definitely keeping me on edge. If that's what they wanted to accomplish, their mission is accomplished. There's nothing that can take that away. To watch you shower, dump, and do, I believe you. I believe you 100%. And if they want to see me in my most disgusting moments, that's their business. I guess they just want to see that somebody, how normal or how messed up somebody can be, I guess. I don't know, but see, they flipped certain meanings into other things. Yeah, they are. I know that they are being watched also, but it's like it's too much. It's too much because it gets into like infringement rights. That's what bothers me. Yeah, for sure. It's so crazy. It's like y'all are just reminding me that it's really a wild, crazy spiritual warfare out here. And it's like it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to it's like anything bad that you could imagine, that's probably what those people are doing. And you know what else they're doing? I have a feeling that they're doing stuff to my food when it's being delivered. Yeah, and they're trying to watch me on the dark web or something, eat something nasty that they put in the food. Like whether it's bodily things or some type of chemicals or poison or medication in there. Because I noticed like somebody will be next door all of a sudden as soon as I get my food. They've been like popping up. They weren't there before, but now that I ordered a meal to come to the house, they're over there. I'm like, I feel like they're trying to watch me eat something that's messed up. I throw it away. Well, thank you guys so much for your support and giving me so much information. I want somebody to make a video more about the how human, I guess that's how it relates, human trafficking relates to this. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And yeah, that's crazy to have an eye implant. I hope I don't have one of the I don't maybe you think that you do though. I can understand how you would think that you do, but I don't know if you would actually have one. My friend used to complain about he used to say that they implanted something in him because he's been in prison before, I guess, or jail, and he said that he believed that they put it in the food, and then if you swallow it, something, but he used to think that something was in his back, that they implanted something in his back. He would say that they were doing stuff to his head, giving him headaches and doing stuff to him. And he really, really believed that. And to the point where, I mean, I started really believing him too, because I didn't feel like he had any reason to lie. But I felt like it was very strange things that he was saying. So I don't know. That would be really sad. And then, I don't know. I could talk about a whole bunch of other stuff later, but okay, I got you. But it's like a lot of those good things that people are using for bad. That's the whole thing is like they also, I feel like they started out as being for good and then they turned them into something bad. So it's like there's that good and then there's that bad about it. So, I mean, you're very knowledgeable about this. So, I don't know. I guess I'm going to try to check out your channel and some of these people's channels and see what's going on. But that's all. I really wanted to just come on and talk about some of the noise harassments. It's a video I wanted to do much earlier, but I decided to wait. And I'll tell you which noise harassment bothers me the most. Well, all of it does. So thank you guys for listening. Actively ignoring them, I've tried that. I wish it was that simple. Do you know what they do to me when I try to actively ignore it? They do it more. And it's like, okay. And they are super persistent with me. Like, I feel like they're super persistent with me. When I try to ignore it, it's like it feels like they amp it up. But I don't know. Because it'll have you so messed up, like the dude across the street, the people right next to him, their fan broke, the little fan outside for the air conditioner, and it sounded like a car honking. And it was like it was going off at certain intervals. And I thought that it was somebody I thought that was somebody doing some gang stalking, and it was like, wow, they conditioned me so much and so badly that I thought that that fan was some gang stalker honking their horn the way that it sounded. Because it was like all night, and it was at certain times, and it was just like, and then I'm like, what's that noise? And I finally go outside, and I notice that it's the fan. I'm like, that's how they really condition you. So all noises literally start to become a bother. Anything can just, I don't know, it's weird. But I know those other noises were true. You can't, not know about a train. You can't not know about somebody's alarm. And you can't not know, especially when it's right there, about the car with the muffler. So the fan thing, I couldn't figure out what it was because it sounded like it was from a distance, and then it sounded like it was right there. So I asked my friend to go see what it was, and I'm gonna try to ignore it. But for me, I just feel like when I try, it amplifies it, and also when I ask, like, stop doing that, sometimes it amplifies it too. Only sometimes will they leave me alone, and I feel like it's if I say the right thing that makes them mad, and then they can't take it, so they leave. But we'll see. I just can't wait to move out of this neighborhood. I can't wait to get out of here. I literally cry when I see positive people that I know because I've been around negative people so long. Like, I don't know. So much has seemed like a setup. So much has seemed like a setup. It's the weirdest thing I've ever been through. But I'll be able to tell y'all more stories about some of the setups. Thank y'all for listening and have a good day tomorrow, and I will see y'all later. Thank you.